Hey guys, so this training is on objection handling cycling, okay? So one of my guys was having trouble with the more fear-based objections. So what I did is I kind of broke down my process in detail. And so I hope you guys enjoy this training. It's a detailed process of how I deal with more mindset, fear-based objections, sort of cycling out, and how I actually have a process to deal with it for anything up to an hour, 2 hours, something like that. All right guys, hope you enjoy the training, bye. So essentially, if you think of objections right now, logistical objections, we don't need to worry about too much, right? So this is post-logistical, right? But it's very important that you get payment, you get the agreement upon a payment plan. Okay, so hey, if I had a payment plan, that work for you? Yes, okay, we can have that conversation if you want. Okay, perfect. What I can do is this. Would that work for you? Yes, that would work. Okay, how do you want to proceed from here? Well, I just need to talk to my partner. Okay, partner. If your partner, okay, do all that stuff. And then they go, well, if your partner's not going to say yes, they're still going to move forward. Sweet. We don't need to worry. We've ticked all the boxes. Now we're into fear. Okay? There's a lot of different ways that you can enter into the fear conversation. The one that I like is the bridging bridging, which is like, okay, well, that makes sense, right? Because we all make decisions based off our perspective. That's the easiest bridge into fear-based objection handling. Because the whole thing with objection handling is it's like you're just having a conversation about the problem of not moving forward. Okay, which is why the first thing we do in every cycle with the logistical is, okay, well, if you did have the money, would this be the answer for you? If your partner was here and they were on board, would this be the answer for you? We're taking it from two people on different sides of a table to two people on the same side of the table trying to overcome a problem. Right? Otherwise, it's just debate and it's combative bullshit, right? So what we have is, and this is what you want to have in your head. This is what I have in my head whenever I'm objection handling. Okay, I enter into the fear-based and I have intensity and I have time. Okay? So these are like 5 to 10 minute increments. So this is minute 5, okay? This is minute 60, okay? Of objection handling, not of the call, okay? So, and we can condense that timeline down to like 15 minutes. It depends how fast you get through the cycle. But if it's like 5 to 10 minutes per cycle, okay? So what we start off with intensity, we increase as time goes on. Now intensity is emotional driver, time frames, and assertiveness. So the assertiveness is you becoming big boy, fucking big balls boy, right? And so you start to, you become less neutral in your tonality.
So direct, direct.
No, I'll show you what I mean, okay? It's very like daddy's here, okay? Like, because when we take them through consequence, when we get here, I'm gonna twist them in knots and they're looking to be led, right? So I'm gonna twist them up pretty bad and then I'm gonna lead them, okay? So what I wanna do here, I'll give you an example, is like, so, hey man, decisions based on our perspective. Are you happy with your mind? We can do a simple, really simple mindset, A really simple one is like, we all make decisions based on our perspective, right? Yes, well the problem is if we're always making decisions based on the perspective we have, not the perspective we want, we'll only ever be where we are right now. So let me ask you a question, man. Like, do you feel like mindset affects decision making? Yes, I do. Okay, and you 100% happy with where you're at in regards to XYZ? No, I'm not. And do you want to let that decision making process to dictate your life and your results moving forward? No, I don't. Why not? Okay, so what do you need to do to put yourself in the best position to be able to actually achieve your goal? Very soft, end of loop. Okay, quite soft, right? Now, if you notice, there's the emotional driver is very low. I've just said goal. I haven't said the goal. I've said goal. The time frame is just what I need to do to be able to do it. There's no time frame distinctions, and assertiveness is very neutral. Okay. Now, he gives me a little bit of carrot, right? He's gonna come back and forth. Okay, and he's gonna go, yeah, man, like I get it. I know I need to do it. I just really, really need to just take 24 hours and think about it. Totally makes sense, man. Now picture yourself on an island. Okay, straight into our island analogy. Okay, and then I'll go, okay, we'll go through that, and I'll go, okay, man. So let me ask you a question. You know, like, how much longer do you want to spend walking around the island? Okay, I'm starting to bring time into it. Okay, but again, quite subtly. And then I'm going to go, and what do you need to do to put yourself in the best possible position to be able to actually get to 20K a month? Right? So again, fairly neutral in my assertiveness, inserting the actual goal, like the number goal, which is going to insert more emotion, and being more assertive about time frames, making a picture of walking around the island. Again, gives me some more curry. Totally fine. I'm happy with it. Right? Gives me another, yeah, whatever. Okay? And we're going to gradually escalate all those things. And the end one is, Dan, what do you need to do so that when you go to bed tonight, you're doing absolutely everything you can to make sure that you actually make enough money to give the kids that you have the life that you never fucking got as a kid? What are you doing tonight? Yeah. Right? And so like, I just go hardcore on the emotional driver, super assertive, right? And I make them contemplate like the now, right? And it's like that emotional driver is the worst case consequence for them. So they gave me that consequence. This is the consequences of my inaction. This is the worst case scenario, and this isn't what I want, right? And then I'm going to insert that right here, and I'm going to say, make sure.
Yeah.
So that you make sure that you're doing everything you can so that when you go to bed tonight, you're in the best possible position to be able to make that money, to provide that for your family, all that kind of stuff, right? So like, I've got this gradation that I'm going up, and because like it's like the step before that is just slightly less of that, and the step before that is slightly less, right? So it's a gradual. The problem is people go to fucking 0 to hero, right? And the guy's just like, who the fuck is this asshole? You know? And what we need to do is we need to have this. These are all cycles, right? It's like that. And the end of each loop and the beginning of the next one is always a variation of what do you need to do to put yourself in the best position to be able to achieve your outcome, right? And you can just script that out. You can just make it more assertive, put more time frame, put more driver, right? You can script the whole thing. But that is that right there, that line is the conversation you want to have. The conversation you don't want to have is buy the product.
Yeah. You have to turn your statements into questions so they sell themselves when you're doing objection handling.
Yeah, but also like you don't want to have the conversation, which is, do you want to do it or not?
Yeah.
The pitch locks that up. Like the pitch is the solution. We agree on that and we go through that in detail, right? Like we agreed this is the solution. So now it's not about them if the program works, if the solution works. It's about what do they need to do? What actions need to be taken so you can actually achieve the result? Because brother, like you might fail. And when you walk out of that island, you might fucking drown. But I'd rather drown having tried than be stuck on the island with a bunch of other dickheads that just keep walking around it, hoping to God that the solution presents itself. Right? And that's when as well, like depending on who you're talking to, I'll insert different frames. If I'm speaking to a business owner, I'll make those, I'll say, what do you need to do so that you're in the best possible position as the leader of your family, as the leader of your business, to make sure that you can actually get to your goal, right? So I'll insert like a little bit of leadership in there. And like I'll say things like, you know, there's 3 difficult decisions that need to be made to get off the island. And as leaders, we make difficult decisions, and that's why we're the leaders. Right? And then it's fucking twisted. Because now you've got to make a decision as to whether you're a leader or not.
Yeah, that's genius.
Right? So, and if you watch that call I did with David, the sales call I did with David, I only take him through one loop, right? But I stitched him up really hard with the leadership. I said to him, I said, okay, Dave, like we all made decisions based on our perspective. And I did the island analogy, right? And I was like, so those 3 difficult decisions are decisions of leaders, right? That's why they're tough. That's why we're leaders. You know what I mean? So what do you need to do to make sure that you do everything you can to lead your team, to make sure that they're in a position where they can succeed, and you can actually stop being a fucking slave to this business and make the money you want to make?
Mm.
And he's like, we need to fix our sales team. I go, like, and then as soon as you get that response, right, where they're like, yes, like that's exactly what I want to hear, push back, right? Because like the natural human emotion. Yeah, but you push them. You're pushing them away because like, well, like why now? Like you don't have to, man, right? Because then their natural human behavior is going to cause them to push back on you and dig in deeper on the idea that they need to do.
So they're chasing you at this point.
Yeah.
Genius. That's helpful. So you can design as the intensity goes up, you can design the frames.
Yeah.
You can just say, what do you need to do to get the best outcomes that you need?
And that's why, like, I just don't ever get flustered because I have this in my head. This is in my head. I know what I'm doing. I know my set points, right? I have like a story or an analogy, or I can kind of combat because we're only having one conversation. The conversation is what do you need to do to put yourself in the best position? Because that's the only conversation I allow them to have. We've already locked up logistics, right? That's all. Locking up logistics is easy. I don't think that's a difficult skill to have, right? But this is much more nuanced because like you have to be playing chess. You have to be like 5 moves ahead. You know where it's going. So you're fine with it. It's all just a game.
Mm.
It's like, yeah, sweet, man. Like, you know, hey, no worries. Like, it's just a game to you.
Yeah.
You know?
People get too caught up on objection handling, take it too personal.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Mate, this is like, I mean, as bad as it sounds, it's a manipulation of the highest order. Right? Like, but it's for their best interest.
Yeah.
Like, we're selling fantastic products and services. So, like, it's not like we're bamboozling people into a fucking MLM or anything like that, right? Selling magical water, you know? So this is a very clear and concise way for you to have a process that, although seems chaotic, like is very deliberate.
Mm. That's super helpful. Now it's just creating the frames that work for you based off like your personal experience to relate to them in the actual time of objection handling as well.
Yeah.
To contextualize it. And then from there you're saying, well, I did this. So what do you feel like you need to do to put yourself in the best position? And just take it with more intentionality.
Yeah.
As well, every single step.
Yeah.
Yeah.